With her car now gone, her once pristine image shattered, and the crowd beginning to disperse, Karen's protests became nothing more than a fading echo. She huffed and stormed off, a woman with no car, no dignity, and no one left to support her. For everyone else, it was a moment of karmic justice, a reminder that no one could escape the consequences of their actions, no matter how entitled they felt. As people filtered back to their cars and onto the street, their phones buzzed with viral videos, all documenting the perfect collapse of Karen's world. Before James could process the shock, a knock at the office door interrupted the moment. One of his senior executives entered, holding documents that revealed another secret: an internal investigation into financial discrepancies tied directly to James's most trusted confidant. The stakes had never been higher, and James realized he was not only facing a personal crisis, but also a professional one that could destroy everything he'd built. Lisa watched as the weight of these revelations pressed down on James. She knew this was just the beginning. As the clock ticked, both of them stood on the edge of a cliff, unsure of what their next steps would mean for their futures. James's mind raced as he processed the revelations. His stepsister, standing right in front of him, had been working under his nose all along. The betrayal he felt from his father's hidden life and the financial scandal threatening his company left him reeling. Lisa, seeing James's struggle, took a deep breath and spoke with calm resolve. "I didn't come here to ruin you, James. I wanted to understand the man you've become. But now we both have decisions to make." Her words struck a chord, and for the first time, James saw Lisa not as a threat, but as someone who had suffered just as much. Just as the tension seemed to ease, the final twist unfolded. The documents revealed not only financial discrepancies, but also a link to James's own past decisions that had inadvertently set this whole chain of events into motion. The person behind the embezzlement was someone James never suspected. His closest advisor, who had used Lisa's arrival as a distraction to cover their tracks. In the end, James had to confront his own mistakes and seek redemption. With Lisa's support, they exposed the fraud and began rebuilding their fractured relationship. The experience taught James humility, and Lisa found a new sense of belonging. But as they moved forward, both knew this was just the beginning of a complicated journey. The barista shook their head with a smile, feeling the warmth of the unexpected support. It wasn't the first time someone had caused a scene in the shop, but it was definitely the most dramatic. The customers, though, seemed to have united in their shared amusement, and the tip jar was a sweet reminder that sometimes the little moments of kindness could turn things around. As the regulars exchanged knowing glances, they felt a camaraderie that made their morning coffee just a bit more special. The barista tucked the tip jar into a safe corner behind the counter, then returned to their task of making drinks with renewed energy. The chaos of Karen's outburst had faded into the background, but the positive energy lingered. A few customers exchanged light-hearted jokes as they sipped their drinks, the mood lightening as the morning unfolded. Outside, Karen's silhouette was still visible through the window, her angry gestures continuing to punctuate the otherwise peaceful scene. Inside the coffee shop, life moved on, people sipping their lattes, typing away on laptops, and chatting with friends. But for those who had witnessed the scene, a small sense of triumph lingered. After all, sometimes it took a little chaos to remind everyone of the power of kindness and community. As the tow truck slowly lifted Karen's car off the ground, the crowd's laughter echoed through the parking lot. The absurdity of the situation wasn't lost on anyone. What began as a small act of arrogance had snowballed into a public spectacle, one that no one would forget anytime soon. Karen's face, once flushed with indignation, was now pale with frustration. She tried to argue with the tow truck driver, then the security guard, but both stood firm. their silence only adding to her growing sense of helplessness. When the police officer arrived, it was the final blow. Karen's attempts to justify her actions were met with a calm but firm response. The officer handed her a citation, noting the clear violation of parking regulations. She stared at the ticket in disbelief, as if expecting some miraculous intervention, but none came. The officer turned and walked back to his vehicle, leaving Karen standing there, defeated. In today's story, we dive into the unexpected twists of life, where power and prejudice collide in the most surprising ways. Meet James, a billionaire CEO whose world revolves around wealth and status. But beneath the polished exterior lies a man with deep-seated arrogance. Then there's Lisa, a humble janitor, whose quiet strength and resilience hide a remarkable secret. When James, unaware of Lisa's true identity, belittles her in front of his staff, tensions rise. What starts as a moment of humiliation for Lisa turns into a revelation that could change everything. Stay tuned as this story unfolds, revealing the hidden connections and surprising truths that remind us of the value of humility and respect. Will James learn his lesson, or will his arrogance blind him to the reality staring him in the face? Keep watching to find out what happens next. James had always prided himself on his business acumen, believing that his success was built entirely on his own merit. To him, people like Lisa were invisible, mere background noise in his grand world of boardrooms and high-stakes deals. Lisa, on the other hand, had spent her life in the shadows, working hard to make ends meet while carrying a family secret that few knew. As James continued his usual day, barking orders and dismissing those he deemed unworthy, Lisa quietly went about her work. She cleaned the offices, overhearing bits and pieces of conversations, including one that hinted at a family reunion James was avoiding. Her heart raced, but she kept her composure, knowing the truth she carried could shake the very foundations of his world. The tension thickened when James decided to confront her directly, unaware of the storm brewing beneath her calm exterior. How much longer could Lisa keep her secret hidden? As the day went on, James couldn't shake the feeling that there was something off about Lisa. Despite his harsh words earlier, she remained calm, almost as if she knew something he didn't. James, driven by curiosity and a hint of suspicion, started to dig into her background, wondering why a janitor would seem so composed under pressure. Meanwhile, Lisa kept her emotions in check, but inside, memories of her past resurfaced. She thought back to the times when her mother spoke about James, the stepbrother she never met. Their lives had diverged in ways neither could have imagined, one growing up in luxury, the other in struggle. Yet here they were, paths crossing under extraordinary circumstances. The office buzzed with whispers of James' odd behavior. His sudden interest in a janitor puzzled his employees. Lisa's coworkers began noticing the tension, fueling office gossip. As the mystery deepened, both James and Lisa knew that the truth was inching closer, ready to unravel their lives in ways they couldn't yet foresee.